What are 8 recession-resistant businesses that you could run at home with no employees? Yes, folks, recession-resistant, run from home, no employees. All right, Bo, we've set the stage. What are the 8 businesses?
There's a lot more than 8, but we got 8 on our list.
Nice.
And I'm going to start with number 1, which is we talk about a lot: vending, um, smart AI cooler machines, and traditional vending machines. That's a great business that could be run from home, no employees, and that's a pretty semi-absentee business model, meaning an hour per week per machine.
Yeah, I think that's a great one to start. I knew it had to be on the list. A lot of ORAT fans have come to you for vending, getting 8 and 10 machines. I think it makes a lot of sense. Again, semi-absentee, 1 hour a week per machine. If you happen to have children or teenagers specifically, maybe kids in college, it's a business that you could do together. You can help them start something. It's an active business. So again, talk to your CPA, but there might be a lot of depreciation you can write off on these physical machines. It's just one of those great appetizer entry level businesses that you can run from home with no employees. I like it.
The next one up is medical staffing. That's more of your working the business, but that's could be extremely lucrative because you're doing placements, and when you do placements, you're getting anywhere from 15 to 25% first year salary as a commission of who you place. And they place across, I think, 115 different medical positions. I really like this business model a lot. It's an empire builder business, meaning you eventually would hire staff, but you can run this you can do placements throughout the nation. You can run that. You could be on vacation in Mexico working. Like, this is a great business. I would say you do need somebody who's going to do the business development. That should be you, right? If it's not you, maybe it's a spouse. It would be a great husband and wife type of business if one was more detail oriented to work on the agreements. But the business models, they teach you how to get the contracts with the hospitals and whatnot. And you can do the math. If you place a $200,000 salary, a 20% fee, not bad. So
not bad. Yeah.
They also have a recurring revenue component when you do temporary staffing, and that is very sticky. So great business model for the right person.
Yeah, this one is the one that you've really got to know thyself. Again, to quote Pace Morby, he tells me all the time, Zuber, know thyself. And I go back to the day when I was training and working with inside salespeople, right? That would make 100 dials a day. Like, if you're comfortable on the phone, you got a dialer and you got all of that, and you're just, that's who you are, and you're comfortable with a lot of no's and voicemails, dude, you could clean up in this business. That's who I think would be a rock star at something like this.
Well, when you think like this is something like, you may think you're not good at it, but you probably have never done it. Like, it's
true.
Like, I think everything ultimately is a learned thing. Like, people aren't born like amazing salespeople. I think it's skills that they're just okay getting told no, right?
Yeah.
And they're okay with that. And so if you're willing to do that, that could be interesting. The next business is a freight and logistics consulting franchise where you actually help. So, for example, if you think of Amazons of the world, everything is palletized, right? Everything in our economy today, you think about how many pallets. Well, this business model is one of their services. They do everything end to end. They don't do the actual fulfillment. They're actually essentially like a logistics broker, but it starts in with pallets. So it's a very sticky, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, very niche, and franchise owners in this business do very well. So you're going to the business owners in your market, and you're helping them because most of them all have pallet problems, and that's how you get in. And then there's a number of other services, and it's very sticky. So something you wouldn't think about, but a very interesting, potentially lucrative business.
I like it. Okay, very cool. All right.
The next franchise model is a franchise model. It's business coaching. So, like, you're an executive and you're retiring. I actually talked to an ORAC guy the other day, and he's like, I don't need to work. I'm retiring. He's, he makes a lot of money. Let's just say he's like, doesn't need to work. He's like, but I'm only 60.
Yeah.
And I said, well, have you ever, he's like, I don't really, like, I just want something he basically wants something to do.
Right.
Like,
you gotta have a mission. Yep.
He's financially secure. So we talked about business coaching. Like, you have great experience and he's an executive. So just keep that top of mind, that there's all these businesses that can be, this is another thing that can be, I always talked about this. This is why this is conversations relevant to me. I always talked with my friends about, we wanted to live what we called the flip flop lifestyle.
Mm,
And to us, that was, we could, not that we didn't want to work, but we could run the business from anywhere in the world, and it would run, if we're sitting at our home office, or if I was in San Diego at the beach, like, it would work. And I think that's appealing to a lot of people. And so there are business models, and we're
yep.
talking about some of them that could essentially cover
Yeah.
that flip-flop lifestyle.
Yeah, I love this one. This one, to me, if you just take it to the next degree, it works perfectly well for this 60-year-old executive as a business coach. But again, I just want to tell people that if you have any kind of hobby or passion for the last decade or two, let me just tell you, there's a business waiting for you. There's a tribe of people that also have that interest. So again, there are so many of you sleeping on your passion that the world is waiting for you. So yeah, that's a great one.
And you had mentioned Pace, and I follow Pace, obviously. But if you actually look at what Pace has done, he doesn't stay in the same asset class. Like, he was doing sub 2 residential, then he was doing short-term rentals, then he was doing co-living, then he was doing multifamily, and now he's doing RV parks. So, and he's also doing business acquisitions now. Like, so, like, to him, he said, "Look, I know you like, I saw like a little reel of his, and he's like, I'm really just about the cash flow. I want to find cash flow vehicles." So I think it's okay to, um, over time, I don't think you should have shiny object syndrome, but I do think, like, if you have to get there a little bit more efficient, like, there might be a better vehicle. Maybe co-living makes more sense than doing a single family.
Sure.
But you have to understand, co-living is a business, active, not, you got more moving parts than long-term single family homes. So
Yep.
you got to be careful with that. But I do see other people integrating and transitioning a little bit.
I like it.
So
Okay.
the next business model is senior placement consulting. So this is an interesting business model. All these silver tsunami, the daughter says, "Oh, mom needs to go to assisted living." You
Right.
actually help and facilitate and figure out which assisted living facility would be best, and you help daughter and mom make a good decision. And then the facility actually pays you generally the first month of the resident's lease in that facility. So if they're paying $8,000 a month, you make $8,000 for that placement. So
Nice.
it's somebody who likes to do business development and is very societal type person. So as you can see, there's a lot of different business models out there.
For sure. Yeah. All right. What do you got?
And actually, there's somebody out there. Before I go to the next one, somebody out there, actually, his business model as a real estate investor is that he has a senior placement company, because he knows all those people need to sell their houses too.
He uses it as lead gen.
And he crushes it. He makes money on the placement, and he makes money on the dispo
On the
of the
asset.
real
Yeah.
estate. Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Okay.
That's
The
great.
next one's an interesting business model. So, you see, like, fires happen, right? And houses burn down. Well, there's something called public adjusting. There's a franchise model that actually does that. So they come out, if you work right through your insurance provider, they're probably trying to give you the least amount as possible. Well, these independent public adjusters, they actually help you get more money for the damage, and then they take a percentage of that. And that's the business model, essentially. So, and usually they can get you much more money because they know how to push the lever. So that's actually an industry that many people don't know about. And there is actually a franchise model around that. So interesting things that we don't think about.
Yeah.
And then we've got two more. The next one is another consulting type business. It's cost reduction consulting. You help business owners save money, and you don't charge them a fee. You earn money as part of the realized savings. So, for example, if you save a company $300,000 on their line items, you would bill them for about 50% of that.
Oof.
Some of it goes to the franchise, the rest goes to you. It's usually a 3-year agreement, very sticky. This is somebody who's got experience talking to business owners, but they typically don't change vendors. So just interesting businesses I want to point out. The last business I'm going to point out today, is actually commercial painting with a subcontractor model.
Hmm.
Now, this business is a home-based business. It's the only franchise that specializes in commercial, and that's all they do is commercial. The corporate location here in Las Vegas actually does about $14 million in top line revenue. And you can start this business by yourself. Now, obviously, to get to a $14 million top line is not easy. They've been around since 2007. But the point is that here's a business that you're don't have a bunch of employees. You're using subcontractors. They teach you how to work with the subs. It's very common in franchising to use subcontractors. And you just think about these arenas and these casinos that need a paint job. A big casino, probably exterior paint job is 7 figures plus. And you just think about
Easy.
what the margins would look like. Not saying you're going to land that your first gig, but point is there's a lot of business models that you don't need a bunch of employees. Some of them are more dependent on your skills. So I thought this was a great topic today, just to point out different variables. Like, look, there's something for everybody. We just have to figure out what that something for you is.
Yeah. And I think what people should do with this conversation, if they're still watching at this point, is go to onerentalmeeting.com, set up a 15-minute phone call from you, and really share where they are at. Because again, we went through 8 here and there's probably 800. And a lot of that will depend on the person who reaches out. What are they at? What do they do? What are they skilled at? What's their experience? Again, you're helping ORAT folks really have plan Bs and other options, whether it's vending or buying franchises, which I greatly appreciate. But it all starts with onerentalmeeting.com. What are your closing thoughts? And we'll get out of here.
We're almost done with month 1 of 2026. What have you accomplished thus far? Are you off to the races? Or are you still like, you still have jet lag? I think the bottom line is, before you know it, the end of the year is going to come around, and are you going to take action or not? And I am trying to take action. And I was on the treadmill this morning thinking about my life and what I do. And what I really came to the conclusion is I know what my superpowers are. Why do I try to do things that aren't my superpowers? So if we do that, I think if I just stay with my superpowers, and that is going back to the Colby A assessment, which I actually went through the training. And I use that with some of the candidates I work with on top of the Zoracle, because that's how you naturally work. How do you naturally work where you're the most efficient and you're happiest? That's really what you want to be, is happy, making money, getting rich in 2026.
Get rich in 2026. It starts with going to onerentalmeeting.com. Go get your 15 minutes. Bo, take care. Have a great week.
See ya.